Let's talk about the different license categories. So when we apply for an FSP license, we will apply for either a category 1, 2, 2A, 3 or 4 license, or multiple license categories. A category 1 FSP is also called an ordinary FSP. This means that this FSP can only act on client instruction. I like to create the mental image that this is a bottom spec FSP. It's not really bottom spec, there's no spec, but this is a bottom spec FSP where the FSCA does not trust us to act on behalf of the client. We can only act on client instruction. So think about your surroundings. If you're in insurance or you're at a motor dealership or wherever you are based and you can only act on client instruction, the client must tell you to activate a policy before you can activate it. The client must tell you to cancel the policy before you can cancel it. The client must give you permission to replace the product or to add or remove something to the product before you're allowed to do it. That is a category 1. Category 1 is also where we sell. This is where we make our recommendations to the client. This is what we can offer you, and the client agrees to it. A category 2 FSP gets a little bit more trust from the FSCA. This is also called a discretionary FSP. Here we are allowed to act on behalf of the client. We're allowed to use our own discretion. The client signs a mandated document that tells us that we are allowed to act on behalf of that client. This is more familiar in the investment part of the industry. So we are allowed to act on behalf of the client when we invest their funds or whatever it is that they want us to invest. A category 2A FSP is still a discretionary FSP, but this is specifically for hedge funds. Hedge funds started out to be the most low-risk type of investment way back when, and currently it's the most aggressive type of investment. Being that aggressive means that it leads to major financial gains or extreme financial losses, and that's why they get their own little subcategory, because they have to be regulated a bit more intensively. So you'll see with the category 2 and 2A you have the words without implementing bulking. Bulking just means that we have to keep client portfolios separate and we are not allowed to combine them. A category 3 FSP, also called an administrative FSP, is where the FSP does not sell to the client directly and they can act on either client instruction or the instruction of another FSP. This would be if the client bought a policy through a broker. The broker acted as the category 1 FSP that sold the product to the client. The broker now has to tell the insurer to activate the policy, load the policy and allocate the premium. The insurer will then act as the category 3 FSP. Let's use names to make this a bit more clear. You are my client. I am a broker for Discovery. I sell a Discovery insurance product to you. You gave me the instruction to incept the policy. I acted as a category 1 FSP. I, the broker, I now go to Discovery and I tell them, I just sold client A this policy. Please load it on your system and activate it on your side. Discovery is acting on my instruction. They did not sell it directly, they did not do any selling, but they are giving me administrative support. If you, the client, went directly to Discovery, they would have acted as the category 1 FSP and I would not have existed. So the insurer can be the category 1 or the category 3 FSP. A category 4 FSP is an assistance business FSP, and they only assist with administrative tasks for assistance policies. Currently, the only assistance policy available is funeral policies. An assistance policy is any life cover or life policy that will never exceed the value of 10,000 Rand. So whether you've been paying it for 3 days, 3 years, 30 years, 50 years, the value of the policy will never exceed 10,000 Rand. That's when it classifies as an assistance policy. Category 1, 2 and 2A, we sell to the client. Okay, so we have direct contact with the client, we sell to the client, that's where we make our money. Category 3 and 4, we are in the background of the sale. The product has already been sold and we assist with administrative things in the background.